Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. Alright everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it, because the virtual San Diego Comic-Con is this week, and we have a slew of announcements and solicitations, especially for upcoming in October. Let's get right into it. First of all, DC Endless Winter. So DC Endless Winter is just a teaser, and that's it right there. We don't know anything else about it, except for it's DC Comics, and it's December 2020. Now, a lot of people are speculating that this has something to do maybe with the Sandman mythology, hence the word endless. Other people just saying, no, that's not quite it. Maybe it's based on this old school, kind of forgotten character, Endless Winter. Maybe it's actually just involving winter. Maybe it's just, you know, another Elseworlds Tom Taylor type story. I don't know. But the teaser is here, and we will definitely be learning more about this as we approach closer to December 2020. Crossover from Image Comics has been fully solicited. We now know 100% for the most part what this story is about. Of course, this is one of the upcoming independent titles from Donny Cates and artist Geoff Shaw. This book sounds really, really neat. It's basically an ongoing series is what they're billing it as, and it's a big superhero comic book event that is so big that it shatters reality, breaks out of the page, and comes into our real world. And it's told from a very down-to-earth human perspective. Donny Cates says it's like Avengers Endgame meets Cloverfield. What would a giant comic book superhero event be like on the ground level from the perspective of just a normal person? That's kind of the idea. Sounds pretty neat. They're really pumped. It's Donny Cates, it's Geoff Shaw. They've done great work. We're talking about Buzzkill. We're talking about God Country. We're talking about Thanos. Come on. You know that we're going to be down for this one. Also from Image Comics, we got a new one announced, Scumbag. It's going to be a Rick Remender book. Scumbag is going to have a different artist on each single issue, and that sounds pretty cool. Let's read the solicitation. The Scumbag tells the story of Ernie Ray Clementine, a profane, illiterate, drug-addicted biker with a 5th grade education. He's the only thing standing between us and total Armageddon because the dummy accidentally received a power-imbuing serum, making him the world's most powerful super spy. Well, when you add in a plethora of amazing artists like Eric Powell, Tula Lotay, Wes Craig, Simone Di Bianchi, Marguerite Sauvage. Very, very excited for this one. That sounds pretty cool. A new one from Steve Orlando is called Commanders in Crisis. That's from Image Comics in October. The last survivors of the multiverse live among us under new superheroic identities. 5 survivors of doomed worlds, taking a second chance to ensure our world lives on. A new twist on strange superhero comics with a bleeding edge eye on the modern moment. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Steve Orlando's one of those creators. I really like his work when it's done and I read it in trade. When I go issue to issue, sometimes I get a little bit lost, but he does excel when we're talking about multiversal crisis type things, so it's cool to see him do his own twist on that. And that's what we got coming out in October from Image. From Dark Horse, we have True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. National Anthem, that's right, with the original Killjoys team of Gerard Way, frontman of My Chemical Romance, and Sean Simon. This time we got artwork by Leonardo Romero. Very excited for that. Romero had amazing artwork on the Kelly Thompson Hawkeye series that focused on Kate Bishop's character. Really like that, so I'm pumped. Going to miss Becky Cloonan, but if you're going to get anybody to replace her, Leonardo Romero is perfect. For fans of MCR or the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, this is actually a prequel to the original comic book that we had. The comic book that we had took place after the story that was created for the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys album, which was the last MCR album that we've had to date. So this is going to be kind of a prequel to that, to tell the story of the original Killjoys and how it led to the next story. I'm super pumped for this. Gerard Way, I think, is not just a great musical artist. I think he's a hellaciously awesome comic book writer, and I'm very excited to see this world get fleshed out even more. Stranger Things has a Halloween special in October. It's a one-shot, but what's really cool about it, aside from being a prequel to Stranger Things, it takes place the Halloween before Will gets abducted and all that stuff in Season 1 of Stranger Things. It's written by Michael Morisi. That's freaking awesome. Michael Morisi writes one of my absolute favorite comic books on shelves, and that's Wasted Space and The Plot, two of my favorite comic books on shelves. Come on. You know I'm into this. I love me some Stranger Things, and even more excited for Michael Morisi to tackle it. Even though it's just a one-shot, I hope we have more to come. The Stranger Things books to me have been decent, and they've been okay, but they haven't been mind-blowing. I'm not saying this is going to be mind-blowing, but I think it's going to be a little bit better than average with Michael Morisi writing it. From Vault Comics, we finally have Giga being solicited. That's right, it's the new Alex Packnadel book with artwork by John Lee. It's about these giant mechs that show up, and then they just kind of stop and freeze after some kind of war or something, and now humanity's like living in them, they're like living around them, all kinds of stuff. We had Alex recently on the show a couple months ago on a Rockin Robbie Live. You definitely should check out that video. I'll throw a link up there because he talks about this project, he talks about the pages he was getting in, and it sounds pretty frickin' nifty. We also have Devil's Red Bride from Vault Comics. This is going to be written by Sebastian Gerner with artwork by John Bibbins. John Bibbins was the artist of Creature Feature, cult classic Creature Feature from Vault. Very excited about that. And Gerner is the writer of Shirtless Bear Fighter. Let's take a look at the solicitation. 16th century Japan. The fates of warlords ebb and flow like tides of blood. None more than the Aragami clan, who follow their lord clad in the Red Devil mask into every battle. But when Lord Aragami succumbs to illness, his daughter, the fierce Kizuko, hatches a plot to save her people no matter the cost. Sounds pretty cool. Cover looks cool. It's from Vault Comics. You know that I'll definitely be checking it out. From AWA in October, we got a new one called American Ronin. This one's going to be written by Peter Milligan with artwork by Aiko. Very excited for this one. It's got a great, cool solicitation. It says, war is over. Democracy an illusion. Real power now lies not with nation states, but huge corporations emerged in a silent war for global domination. Their number one weapon, highly skilled, technologically enhanced operatives trained since childhood to pledge their allegiance to the corporate flag. But what happens when one such operative breaks free of his mental chains and decides to bring the whole system down? Can one Ronin make a difference? Pete Milligan is a legend in the industry. He has fantastic work, especially on some Vertigo titles. His work on X-Force and Ecstatics with Mike Allred is one of my personal favorites from him. And Aiko and the artwork, come on, you know that's going to look good. Grendel Kentucky is another one from AWA Comics, written by Jeff McCumsey with artwork by Tommy Lee Edwards. I'm a big Tommy Lee Edwards fan. He's got a nice gritty, raw style, so I'm excited to see him do some interior pages. The solicitation goes as follows. For 2 generations, the rural hill town of Grendel, Kentucky, has honored its Faustian bargain with the monster living in its abandoned coal mine. A human sacrifice every season in return for agrarian prosperity, the likes of which this rocky region had never seen before. So that sounds pretty neat. I really like it. AWA's been doing some pretty solid work with some pretty solid creators, so I'm excited for this one. Valiant has announced that they are relaunching Ninjak yet again. But it's written by Jeff Parker. That's cool. But it's got artwork by Javier Pulido. Holy cow. And if you look at the pages, it's simple, it's different than you're typically used to from a Ninjak comic book, but to me, it feels old school, feels like those old Japanese scrolls, things like that. I don't know how to really describe it, but to me, it looks simple and elegant all at the same time. Very excited for that one. From Heavy Metal Comics, we have Cold Dead War launching in October. This is written by George C. Romero, the son of George A. Romero. This is a sequel to the B-17 Heavy Metal short that was in the Heavy Metal animated movie. It's about zombies. All of a sudden, these dead bodies on an island during the Battle of Midway, they come to life and they're zombies. I mean, it sounds pretty freaking neat, sounds pretty cool, and of course with the Romero legacy attached to it, it has me even more excited. From Oni Press, we have Rick and Morty Ever After. It's a new Rick and Morty miniseries where they go up against the dark, grim fairy tales of the past. That sounds pretty cool. We also have The Vein. The Vein is a new one from Oni Press, launching in October, written by Elliot Rahal with artwork by Emily Pearson. Here's the solicitation. Chicago, 1941. A blood bank is held up in a robbery, but no cash is taken, only blood. It's the latest in a string of similar crimes, and the FBI agents Felix Franklin is certain it's part of a much wider plot. But the truth is much more sinister than he could ever imagine. The 4 robbers who call themselves the Vein are vampires, immortal, physically powerful, and after decades of honing their skills, practically untraceable. But in a world that is rapidly changing, stealing blood is harder every day with each decade that passes. So it's Elliot Rahal, who's a great writer, doing vampires like he's doing right now with Bleed Them Dry over at Vault, and I'm pumped, and I really do like Emily Pearson's artwork, so I'm excited for that one. From Aftershock Comics, we have We Live #1 by the Miranda Brothers. The year is 2084, and the world has changed. Racked by calamities and crawling with monsters, the last remaining humans face a dangerous existence. And now, the Earth has been sent a message from the deepest reaches of space, a dark countdown to the extinction of all humanity. But there is hope. 5,000 children will be rescued by these mysterious message senders, but only 5,000. So now it's about a race of trying to get certain kids to the certain area where they can be saved. That sounds pretty wild and pretty cool. We also have Sympathy for No Devils from Aftershock Comics, written by Brandon Thomas, with artwork by Lee Ferguson. Winston Wallace has a secret. He is all that remains of mankind and is surrounded on all sides by demons, monsters, and ghouls that pick up where humanity left off, lying, stealing, cheating, and killing. Years ago, it was Winston's job to investigate such things. Now his ex-partner needs help solving the brutal murder of the world's largest colossal, because he knows the secret. He knows about the magical curse that gives Winston the ability to survive a world where everything is bigger, stronger, and angrier than he is. Sounds pretty nifty. Aftershock's been doing good stuff as well. They also have an original graphic novel called Kill a Man. It's written by Steve Orlando and Philip Kennedy Johnson. Philip Kennedy Johnson, of course, the writer of The Last God. It's got artwork by Alec Morgan. As a child, James Bellei watched his father die in the ring as payback for slurs thrown at the other fighter. Today, he's a mixed martial artist star at the top of his game, and one of the most popular fighters in the world until he is outed as gay in his title shot press conference. Abandoned overnight by training camp, his endorsements, his fans, and his sport, to regain his title shot, he is forced to turn to the last person he ever wants to see again, Xavier Maine, a gay, once great fighter in his own right, and the man James once watched kill his father. Holy cow, that sounds exciting. From Albatross and Eric Powell, we have La Diabla. Goon fans definitely want to check this one out. Who is she? What is she? A vigilante? A phantom? A beast straight from hell? Are you listening? She is La Diabla, a fuel-injected Latina suicide machine sent to strike down the unroadworthy. A rocker, a roller out of controller. She's laying down a rubber road to freedom, baby. Think of her when you look up at the night sky. And who can write a good solicitation? Eric Powell and Albatross, I guarantee it. Let's talk about some movies and TV. We got the Bill and Ted Face the Music trailer, a full-fledged trailer, not just a teaser. It lets us know a little bit more. I just recently interviewed the co-creator and the co-writer of this film, but he was the co-creator of the Bill and Ted franchise. He's co-written every single movie, Chris Matheson. He has some great things to say about this movie. I'm pumped. This trailer looks amazing. You know I love me some Bill and Ted, and I am excited. The Hellstrom trailer debuted. It's going to be like a Hulu show. It seems like Marvel's kind of going really full-fledged into horror. I thought it actually looked pretty cool. It's based, of course, on Damien Hellstrom, the son of Satan. And it's going to be I think it's Hulu TV series, but it seems cool and it looks cool. So there's another New Mutants trailer. That's interesting. When's the movie going to come out? I honestly really feel like I feel like the time I've dedicated talking about and reacting to all the trailers and all the news from New Mutants is going to add up to be a longer time spent on this channel than actually reviewing the frickin' film when it debuts. However, they say it's still coming. Speaking of movies still coming, maybe some aren't. A lot of more delays. That's right, Mulan, Tenet, Quiet Place 2, Top Gun Maverick. Delayed indefinitely, all of those. Maverick and Quiet Place definitely at least into 2021. So 2020 seems to be the year where the best movie release might be The Invisible Man or Bloodshot. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, crazy, crazy. And Dave Franco is going to be playing Vanilla Ice in a Vanilla Ice biopic. I love me some Vanilla Ice. I would be interested in a Vanilla Ice biopic. I think it's been a while since we have a really good standout musical biopic. Maybe I'm just forgetting some movies, but Dan Franco, yeah, or Dave Franco, what's his name? Dave, brother James, Dave Franco. Yeah, I think he can pull it off. Yeah, to the extreme, I think is what it's going to be called, as it should be. So that's what we got for you today. What do we got for you coming up here at PCP? Well, tonight, Rockin Robbie Live, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. We'll be going over the Eisner winners We'll be doing a little bit of Marvel in the 90s. We'll be doing some show and tell. We'll be talking about this upcoming week's new comic books. We'll have a fun time tonight, Rockin Robbie live. So please do join us. I don't want to, and also just going to say this. Little Bird won Best Limited Series. Holy cow. That was my favorite book last year, and it actually won an Eisner. It's nice to see them get recognized for that. Absolutely. We'll be talking about all that and more tonight, Rockin Robbie Live, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Let me know in the comments below any of your thoughts about any of this news that we shared or any news that we didn't, anything we missed. Lots of solicitations. Of course, the virtual Comic-Con's still going on, so there may even be more news announced after I record this, after I edit this, after it comes out before the live stream, so we'll be talking about that tonight as well. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, written advance reviews, and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living.